those broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight.
An honor to be speaking here. My son, I lost Salman Hamdani, who was a certified paramedic like all of you. And he was also an NYPD cadet. And he went to work that day and did not come home. And after searching for him for a couple of weeks, there was this insinuations in the media that maybe he was one of the, affiliated with those attacks. America at that moment, we not only lost our innocence, but we lost, and not only those 27,000 that died that day, but we seem to have lost our values also. And it has been a decade to lift the suspicion that has been cast on the American Muslim community as a whole, and also on the Arab Americans, to be held accountable for the act of foreign criminals. And this is where we stand today. His remains were found in 34 pieces at Ground Zero, North Tower, and we buried him on April 5th, 2002. But his father, like many other people in the aftermath, he died of a broken heart also 2 years later. And the burden has been on my shoulder to clear my son's name, which I did by the grace of God, especially this year's testimony at Peter King's radicalization hearing. Congressman Keith Ellison testified on behalf of my son. And that's how the Congress acknowledged his sacrifice. His name resonates through the Congress. And so 10 years now, we need to move forward with a resolve to heal as a nation. All those people that died that day were attacked for being Americans, for the American values of democracy, liberty, freedom, and justice for all. And as a tribute to them, we need to uphold those values, transcend the barriers of race, faith, and ethnicity, because diversity is America's strength. And we have a resolve. The nation has rebounded. The interfaith movement has started. The second civil liberties movement has started for the American Muslims. And we will rebound as a resilient nation, upholding our values across the world. Thank you all, God bless you, and God bless my Salman's country and my nation, the United States of America.
That the legacy that the terrorists left behind to divide us, to instill anger and hatred between ourselves, is on the brink of the death. And that is our responsibility, Jews, Christians, Muslims, Hindus, Sikhs, everybody, that we must come together, join hands, to further putting this down into the hole of death. With that, my brothers and sisters, we see that in these coming years, we are going to have a more shining America. Okay?
I still hear people say to me, well, of course we don't know much about Muslims because they're such a new community in this country. Well, I have a news flash for you. Muslims landed here 100 years before my Puritan ancestors landed in Massachusetts. And on the other side of the family, when my mother's father slept across the border coming from Scotland, that was 20 years after the first mosque was established in North Dakota. And yet still, we have much to learn about one another. But I think today really want to say that simply knowing a little and being tolerant isn't enough for us to expect of ourselves. We somehow, if we are really going to deny victory to the terrorists who attacked us on 9/11, we have to move beyond simply live and tolerate one another, to really deeply engage with one another.
Our nation was viciously attacked by terrorists. On this fateful day, almost 3,000 innocent lives were lost, including approximately 300 Muslims. This tragic incident left a permanent mark of grief in all of our hearts. Today, we are here to remember those who lost their lives and resolve that we'll remain steadfast as responsible and patriotic citizens of our country.
People, for example, like you, the people gathered here today, people of faith and goodwill who made the extraordinary effort, the difficult and courageous choice not only to condemn the actions of the terrorists and those of their twisted ilk, but to reject the very human but ultimately destructive urge to cry out for vengeance, to look for scapegoats, to meet terror with terror, hatred with hatred, and violence with violence. Those who have chosen instead to remain true to the profoundest commandments of the world's great faiths, to pursue peace.
Though the terrorists broke our hearts, they only strengthened our resolve and the resolve of all Americans, all of us, and reinforced the spirit of the victims that continues to live on through our friends, families, and everyone who was touched by the events of 9/11.
Our very presence here today is testimony to the terrorists' failure to create such a dark and terrifying world. We come here to affirm that we love each other as neighbors and friends and fellow partners in the sacred work of healing this world.
All of you have a running theme throughout your speeches today, and that is we are one people. We are one community. And as one community, we have the responsibility to contribute to this community.
All working together, telling you that we can together be stronger than ever before, shows that those who attacked us 10 years ago lost, always will lose.